Hello, campaigners. John Bose here, one of the co-hosts of the Campaign Rundown podcast, and I'm coming at you today to talk about the volunteer process. Campaigns are volunteer-driven organizations, and it's important to make sure that when you have somebody that's willing to volunteer their time to help you, that you are giving them meaningful work that will move your entire organization forward. And to do that, you're going to need a process for keeping track of volunteer opportunities and making sure that you get the right person plugged into one of those opportunities. So let's take a look at that process. Volunteer process is managed by the volunteer coordinator, who is a part of the campaign's field operation. Volunteer coordinator is responsible for managing the overall process, making sure that the volunteers become engaged with the campaign and have a positive experience when they volunteer. Campaigns need to match the right volunteer opportunity to the right person to avoid overwhelming the individual and discouraging them from helping the campaign going forward. The volunteer process uses an engagement funnel to promote volunteer opportunities that individuals can RSVP to. The data is collected in the outreach database. The outreach database tracks the volunteers' participation in individual events and rates them on the amount of activity they are taking place in. This is important because that allows the campaign to identify and reward volunteers that are particularly helpful and active in the campaign. Volunteer opportunities can be broken into three distinct groups: passive, social, and active volunteer opportunities. The opportunities are grouped by level of effort needed to complete them and difficulty in doing so. Opportunities are presented to the volunteers in a waterfall effect, starting with the highest and most difficult level, going to the least difficult. Taking a look at each one of these opportunities, and active volunteer opportunities are things like phone banking, where you're making calls to individuals, or canvassing when you're knocking on people's doors. Social volunteer opportunities are things like using your social media account to promote campaign material or hosting a Meet the Candidate event. Passive volunteer opportunities are things like visibilities or hosting a lawn sign during the final weeks of a campaign. These opportunities are presented in the volunteer engagement funnel, and it is most important to present the hardest at first and end with the least, which is the passive. You want to make sure you're matching the right volunteer to the right opportunity. Volunteer opportunities are managed through a volunteer calendar. Each opportunity has a title, type, group, short description, location, contact information, RSVP link, date and time that the opportunity will occur. The campaign plans the volunteer calendar 2 weeks in advance and maintains it throughout the entire election cycle. After the volunteer opportunities have been created, the campaign schedules a weekly outreach session. During the outreach session, staff members contact new supporters and potential volunteers to see if they can recruit them for any of these volunteer opportunities. Over a 2-week period, the staff try to reach out to each individual. If they are unsuccessful after 3 tries, they will then move that individual out of the outreach list and into the follow-up reminder, which will have a monthly call opportunity for volunteering with the campaign. The results of each outreach session is input into the outreach database, and the volunteer's status is updated for each individual. Life is busy, so it's important to include with these outreach sessions reminder calls. Within 24 hours of any event or opportunity that an individual has volunteered or said they would attend, you want to make sure that you call them to remind them that they have pledged to attend the event. This reminder call also gives the campaign an additional opportunity to have a positive interaction with the volunteer and answer any questions. Standardizing the structure of volunteer opportunity events makes it easier to run the entire process and ensures that positive experience for anyone supporting the campaign as they help. Event kits are assembled for each opportunity that include campaign materials, detailed instructions, and supplies for the event. Every attendee is greeted and welcomed as they are asked to sign into the event volunteer opportunity. Campaign representative overviews the day's activities, answers any questions, and runs the event. When the event ends, the campaign representative thanks the attendees, debriefs them, asks the volunteer to again help on the next upcoming event. After the volunteer opportunity event, the campaign staff update the volunteer status in the outreach database for each one of the people that helped during the event. The campaign provides incentives for volunteers based on their hard work. Random volunteers from the event are contacted directly by key members of the campaign, including the candidate, either in person or via the phone. Remember that these individuals are taking time out of their schedule to help your campaign, and your campaign cannot be successful without their assistance. Always make sure to thank people at key opportunities and present them with unique experiences to ensure that they return and help the campaign.